Welcome to Byte Sized. It is claimed that intelligent people have more copper and zinc in their hair follicles. However, this is just a myth. These play more of a role with hair colour than intelligence. Human population statistics is an interesting subject, but the bacteria literally have a world of their own in you. Even just wearing headphones for at least an hour can increase bacteria in your ear by 700 times. It's the extra humidity that allows them to grow faster and could also make you more prone to getting an ear infection. Using brains is exhausting when you're challenged with a difficult task, but brain power is an interesting thing, that our brains consume about 20 to 25 watts of power while being awake. It can pretty much light up a bulb. Our brains can burn so much energy, professional chess players actually lose weight by playing chess. The amount of thought that goes into every move, and with each move calculating every possible scenario many moves ahead, means your brain is working in overdrive and chess tournaments have been cancelled due to extreme weight loss. Your home most likely has many dead body parts inside. Now before you panic and start evacuating, don't worry, this is normal. About 20 to 50% of household dust is made up of dead skin cells, and skin does count as a body part. Yes, I checked. Don't worry though.
It's just skin, Steven.
Humans have a beautiful life cycle where two people live for each other in love, have kids, raise them, and leave their legacy behind. It might blow your mind to know that seahorses are living their life cycle with exchanged roles. Usually the female will pass over the fertilized eggs to the male seahorse so he can carry them until they hatch. Now I'm pretty sure that trait is not going to catch on well with humans. Science fiction movies are the binding string between complicated science and layman's minds. Although most sci-fi movies do at least some research to make sure there is accurate science behind anything they put into a film. The crazy part about it is sometimes real-life scientists have proposed crazier things than you've seen in any sci-fi movie, like the alternate use for nuclear weapons, called Project Orion, which was actually an engine that uses a blast of nuclear weapons to propel itself forward. This type of engine is called nuclear pulse propulsion and has been estimated to reach 4.5% the speed of light. And this isn't even future technology, it was tested back in 1958. Have you ever imagined what humans would look like without mouths? Well, looks apart, we would be starving to eat food. Nature is full of wonderful facts, including the one that some moths never eat as adults because they don't have a mouth. They simply survive on energy they stored as caterpillars and spend the last part of their life trying to reproduce. Baking and cooking can be such an artistic job, but there must be moments where cooking experiments go horribly wrong. It happens with everyone after all. However, you should be cautious with grapes, because they tend to explode if you put them in the microwave. Peanut butter is loved by many, but it has a bit of an explosive secret as well. Not peanut butter itself, but the peanut oil is an explosive liquid that is used to make some types of dynamite. Have you ever wondered that snoring while asleep can mean easy entry for insects to get inside your mouth? Well, if you sleep with your mouth open, on average you eat about 8 spiders in your lifetime. That's one way to get some protein in your diet. Bugs and insects are common food around the world, which might be surprising to some, but it really shouldn't be. These creatures are full of protein and minerals, so will you be adding these to your healthy lifestyle? My answer? Nope. Mexico is quite stable and strong in the fact that it sinks about 10 inches a year. It's standing strong for now, but the ground is sinking because of subsidence. The city's water supply comes from an underground aquifer, which has been drained faster than it can be replenished. World War II took so much metal for weapons that the Oscars award had to be made of wood in 1938, and it was awarded to ventriloquist Edgar Bergen. Although at least that's what most people are saying. World War II was part of the reason why a wooden award was given out, but that one was more to honour the ventriloquist's dummy. It was more to do with wartime propaganda rather than an actual metal shortage. Other awards were given out during this time that were made of plaster, and those winners were later given the proper award. Do you find left-hand typing a bit tricky? If you really want to practice left-handed typing for whatever reason, stewardesses is the longest word typed using only the left-handed side of the keyboard. Sneezing is the nostrils' way of saying, hey, let me dance and shrink a bit. But seems like our eyes don't like the nostrils' dance much, because it's impossible to sneeze with your eyes open. I guess there are just some dances you cannot bear to watch. We've always known in basic science that hot air rises against cold air, but does that explain the fact that butterflies can't fly if their body temperature is less than 86 degrees? When a baby is born, he or she will have over 100 billion neurons within the brain. Throughout the pregnancy, these growing neurons multiply at 250,000 neurons per minute. Houseflies are an unwanted pest buzzing around. They can be gross sometimes. In fact, houseflies regurgitate their food and eat it again. They do this because they need to dry out the food more, and when some of the liquids evaporate, that's when they'll eat it again. No matter how disgusting flies could be, they are at least able to fly, unlike humans, but they are at least fairly intelligent insects. When you try to swat a fly, it will recognize the danger, plan its escape, and can jump to take off in any direction needed in less than 1 second. Dragonflies are living a thrilling life where they can fly 35 miles per hour. These are the fastest known flying insects. The hawk moth is the second fastest at 33.7 miles per hour. Eating fruits are a good source of water. Take the tomato for example, which is about 95% water. By that logic, maybe we should eat our brains, because even our brain is 75 to 80% water. We lay traps for rats by offering them food in a rat trap. Spiders seem to be as intelligent as us, in the fact that spiderweb is actually not a home, but rather a trap for its food. Even more impressively, a crow can learn to drop bread in water, pick it up before the big fish get it, and then drop it again to catch the fish that it wants to eat. Anti-aging creams and regimes are a flourishing market, but instead of preventing aging, can we reverse aging? Science says yes, and it has already done so, but not with humans yet. So far, it has been done to mice, and by activating 4 genes, known as the Yamanaka factors, they were able to increase the life expectancy by 30%. Being young and active is cool, but it comes as a shock to know that the world's youngest parents were 8 and 9, and they lived in China in 1910. It's nice that the discussion of mental health is gaining more light and attention recently. It's important to remember that these negative emotions such as anxiety and stress can have an actual physical effect on people, sometimes manifesting itself as pain. It can cause alopecia, and it can even weaken our immune system. Mercury is a planet with not much going on, but the fact that it is so normal is what's weird about it. It has no moons, just like Venus, and despite being much closer to the Sun than Venus is, it's actually colder because the dense atmosphere of Venus traps heat. Mercury doesn't really have an atmosphere. Instead, it has an exosphere, which is made up of atoms blasted off of the surface by solar winds. Origami is the art of folding paper, and it is enjoyed by kids and adults. But every art comes with limitations. No square paper can be folded more than 7 times across a line of symmetry, unless it's wet. If you had some form of superpower to fold paper, then 20 folds of one piece of paper would make it over 1 million sheets thick. Yeah, paper facts, who knew? Sinking into quicksand sounds dangerous, and it is. If you find yourself stuck in quicksand, then raising your legs slowly and lying on your back can help prevent you from sinking to your death. Hopefully you're never in a situation where you need to remember this. The electric chair was invented by a dentist, and people wonder why everyone has a fear of dentists. Bruce Lee is a legend, there's no doubt about it. Do you know that his moves were so fast that they actually had to slow down film footage so that the audience could actually see what he was doing? Kneecaps are a saviour for people who like to fall a lot, like my children. However, it can be dangerous for babies as they don't have kneecaps when they're born. They say don't run before you can walk, but in this case, don't walk before you can crawl. Globally, more than 5 billion pizzas are sold each year, with about 350 slices eaten every single second. That number would possibly be reduced drastically if I stopped eating it. Sorry guys. A strawberry isn't actually a berry, and it's technically not even a fruit. Strawberries are known as a false fruit that consists of many small individual fruits embedded into the flesh of a strawberry. Some simple things have complicated terminology. Did you know that the end plastic on shoelace is known as an aglet? Our lives are so colourful, and we're extremely lucky for that. Butterflies are beautiful creatures, but strangely are limited of only being able to see red, green and yellow. Homosexuality is a topic of debate among Homo sapiens, but it seems like bats are comparatively living much more chilled out lives, as they have the highest rate of homosexuality among any mammals. Stomach acidity has troubled every one of us at least one time. Our stomach acid is very corrosive, and it can even digest the whole stomach itself. There are so many ways to declare big announcements. Have you ever heard that the Declaration of Independence was written on hemp paper? Hemp comes from the marijuana plant. Well, if you have, then that's not true at all. In actuality, it was written on parchment. 1111 is well known for being the angel's number. Numbers are harmless, but still there are people that have a phobia of the number 13. This phobia is called triskaidekaphobia, and if you thought that was a mouthful, then try this. The fear of big words is hippopotamonstrous sesquipedelia phobia. Yeah, many phobias are named based on irony. Some acronyms can have some weird, disappointing full forms, just like ZIP, which extends to Zoning Improvement Plan, and the UK's meetings concerning national and regional crisis, with an awesome sounding name, COBRA, which actually stands for Cabinet Office Briefing Room A. Despite the fact that drinking alcohol is harmful for health, still at any time about 0.7% of the world's population is drunk. Based on that logic, if this video reaches 1,000 views, then about 70 of those viewers were drunk. Snakes have no eyelids, which is actually one of the differences between snakes and legless lizards, because they do have eyelids. Many mammals have 3 eyelids, but we humans don't, at least not anymore. The Pilca semilunaris is the remnant of the 3rd eyelid that no longer serves its original purpose, but it still does help clear tear drainage and clean the eye still. The history of scientists can be a treasure of knowledge. Little is known about their personal lives. However, Albert Einstein and Charles Darwin both married their first cousins. Albert married Elsa Einstein and Charles married Emma Wedgwood. We humans often struggle between heart and mind, but shrimps are so lucky in the fact that their heart is in their head. Lobsters have by far the strangest anatomy. They have teeth in just one of their 2 stomachs, with kidneys in their head. They get rid of waste material through their face, which is also what they do to attract a mate. Huh? Kinky little critters, aren't they? Jellyfishes are called jellyfish for a reason. They are biologically 95% water, pretty much the same as the tomato in the beginning of this video. The Taj Mahal is an Indian beauty in the list of monuments that are bestowed with the title of the 7 Wonders of the World. However, it might shock you to know that there is no solid proof of who built the Taj Mahal. It is claimed that Mughal, who built the Taj Mahal in memory of his queen, Mumtaz Mahal, but there are people who debate this. Humans feel lightheaded or crazy after drinking, but apparently it's not as intense as scorpions. A common myth is that if you put a drop of liquor on scorpions, they will go insane and sting itself to death, but this isn't true at all. However, if you are stung by one, pouring tequila on the wound can reduce the pain. Remember to pour it on the wound and not the scorpion. If you want more bite-sized facts, then check out either of the videos on screen right now. I'll see you there.